This is Big Poppy Racing.
It's time for the 2020 Diecast games. These games are being brought to you by Big Poppy Racing and RedlineDerby.com. Remember, you need information about Diecast Racing, RedlineDerby.com. The first event, the 2020 Push. 64 cars will participate, but only the top 32 will receive points depending on the distance they push the block. This is how this works. The car is released for a slight descent down the track. It rolls until it strikes a block, and it will push the block a certain distance. That distance is recorded, and that will be the car's number. So let's get started. So first up, the racer who says knee. A 68 Nova will be his first entry. He will get 23 1/8 inches. Nice push. Secondly, the Shark Cruiser pushes for 18 11/16. So the pole has been set. And next we go with Peter B. Racing. He's got a front-running Fairmont, usually a pretty good car, 23 3/4. Next is the school bus. Oh, nice push. Heavier vehicle, 25 13/16. Good push. So he will take first and second over. Next up, Gen X Vintage Racing, and he starts with a custom V8 Vega. Nice push, looks like 17 13/16. Next, going to be Nissan Bluebird S10 model, 19 1/2. So he does not break the top two. Next, Fast 5 Racing. He's got an 18 Honda Civic Type R. He gets 15 5/8 push. And next is going to be the F Racer. And he gets a push of 13 9/16. So he is entered. He didn't break any of the tops. They're put in order. Next, the Taiwan On with Sandy Mack. And she's got a Lancer Evolution. The Evo's very popular. 21 1/2. Next, she's got a Roger Dodger 2.0. And he's going to push for 19 5/8. So we add her in, and looks like going to 4th and 5th. Next up, Simon D. of Hot Car Track, over the pond. He's got a Impreza, Subaru Impreza, gets 18 7/8. And next, he's got a BDD 12, and he's going to get 13 inches. A little lighter car in that competition. So he's placed into position. Next, look here, Lady of Speed. She's got a Mini Cooper. Little block car, 22 1/4. Nice push, and the way too fast. 19 11/16. So the Lady of Speed will take into 4th and 6th. Coming up next, R&R Racing. Rhett Nelson Rogers. He's got a Ford GT, 13 7/16. And he's got a way too fast. 19 1/8. So R&R Racing not able to break the top ones, but he's just having fun. Next is Michael's Diecast Garage, MDG, and he's got a Ford GTLM. Gonna get 22 11/16 out of that push. 22 11/16. Next, another Lancer Evo. This is gonna get a 20 3/16. Just looking at things, it looks like you're gonna have a 20 to finish or get points in this event as we go through this. This is Mark D. of CRC Racing. An 87 Dodge D100, 16 1/8. And his second car is a gold Ferrari F Forte, 24 1/8. Nice push on the Ferrari. So we'll split the list and make it a little easier to see. These are the top cars and the second page as you look on to see where your cars are at. Next is the Rogue Racer. Got some old cars here, 69 Pontiac GTO. Ooh, look at here, 22 5/8. And next, a Datsun 200 SX, 25 13/16. That's a good push. You can see Rogue Racer's into second with that Datsun. Next up, guess who? Big Poppy. Not holding his breath for anything, but he's got a 97 Corvette, heavy car. Gets 17 3/8. And he's got his own painted Lancer Evo, 19 1/2. So he's not able to even make a dent up front. He went to the last sheet. Next up, Arc Command. He's got a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And it's going to get 13 and 3/16. Next, the Track Ripper. 11 and a quarter. So Arc Command will go to the second page as he's entered. Next up, your Nightmare Racing. He's got a Johnny Lightning Coca-Cola Studebaker. Oh, goodness. What a push. It's beyond the measure. We're going to have to extend it. 32 and a quarter is where he's going to end up. And next, he's got the Praetorian Guard car from the Star Wars series. And a nice push, 26 and 7/8. Your Nightmare Racing has taken over first and second place. Good job. Next up, Toon Tracks Racing. He's got a Copo Camaro with a 17 and 1/2. And next is the Honda Sprocket. And he's going to get 16 out of it. So he'll go in on page 2 as we look at it. Then Hot Wheels Calgary. And he's got an F40 Ferrari. He gets 22 and 5/16. And the Speed Bump pushes for 18. So that's going to put him up in third with that F40. Next up, Jim L. and QC Racing, a Johnny Lightning Studebaker pickup truck. Oh, look here, another good push by Studebaker, 32 and 9/16. And then he's got a red F40, that Ferrari's popular, 22 and 1/8. Look here, Jim L. going into first place with the Studebaker. Nice push. Next up, Kaboom Racers. And he's got an Evo to start out with, 20 and 3/8. Nice push there. And look at here, a Hood Nudlist. And he's, 28 and 15/16. So Kaboom Racers moves into third with that push. And then the other car will be entered on page 2. Next up, we've got number 80, Nick Devers Racing, Mercedes 500 SEC. An old laser wheel, Matchbox, 28 and 7/16. Next up, a Matchbox Datsun 280ZX, and he's going to get 25 and 3/16. Nick Devers Racing, 2 cars in the top 10. Look at Nick go. Next up, Dirty Deeb Racing, a BMW Roadster, will be their first entry, 17 and 7/16. Next up, Speed Seeker, an old car, 19 and 3/8. Nice casting, so they'll go appropriately into their positions. Next up, Bad Burn Racing. He's got an Audi RS6 Avant. Here's the push, 16 and 3/4. And next, a Roger Dodger 2.0. And he's going to get 17 out of that. He's right there together with both his entries on page 2. Next up, Rust Belt Racing. He's got a T-Bird. Light car is going to get 14 inches pushed. And next, a Locomotion. That vehicle's a little lighter than you'd think, and it's 13 and 3/4. So Red Belt is going to split up the Fast 5. And we go to our next entry, Silverback Racing. An Oldsmobile Aurora to start out. He has a push, 15 and 1/2. And then a Maserati MC12, the only Maserati in the competition, 13 and 3/4. So he'll go into the appropriate spots as the field starts to thicken. Next up, defending team champion Red Pill Racing. He has a Mercedes 500. Look at here, 27 and 15/16. And if everybody remembers the Carbonite, look at that push, 31 and 7/8. So Red Pill, 3rd and 6th, coming into the competition strong. Next up, My Hot Wheels Collection. He has a Mazda RX-7 and a Rapid Responder. Here's the RX-7, 15 and 1/2 he gets out of that. And next, the Rapid Responder, a little heavier casting, will get him 22 and 1/8. So that will place him in on page 1 with the Responder. And then we'll go to page 2 for the RX-7. More and more cars coming on. Now next up now, Uncle Elvis Racing. He's got a front-running Fairmont. And he's going to get a 23 and 1/8 out of that. And next, a Matchbox Blue Shark. Nice push, 21 and 9/16. So he's going to be up on page 1 with both of those pushes. Next up, Little Miss Mayhem and Crazy Fresh Entertainment. She's got a 70 Roadrunner, and bam, 27 1/4. Nice push for the Roadrunner. She's got a red Porsche 911, a little lighter casting, 18 1/4. So here, Crazy Fresh Entertainment into the top 10. Will she stay there is the question. Next up on page 2, she's placed there at her 18 1/4. And we've got Madness Motorsports. He's got a 69 Dodge Charger. Here's the Charger. Its push is 16 1/4. Next up, he's got a Ferrari Testarossa, 24 3/8. Hey, that's going to place. So he goes up in his spot on page 1. And we'll get ready and look at page 2. In his spot, guess who's next? JX4 Racing. He's got a Ferrari 308 GTB, also called a Quick Trip, 23 7/8. And a Nissan 300 Z-Car, 21 1/2. Two nice pushes. You can see he goes into his spots. And he's on page 1 with both of his. Here comes Po' Boy Racing. He's got an 09 Ford F-150. Dead on 25 for him. His second car is a Ferrari F40. And 20 7/8. So Po' Boy gonna be on page 1 with the first car, and moved a little lower on the second car, but he may still place. Next up, the one, the only League of Speed. He's got an Escalade and a hot tub. The Escalade gets a push of 25 9/16. Next is his hot tub, 22 1/4. So he looks at, he's going to be moved into just below the Rogue Racer there with his Escalade. And it looks like him on page 2, he and, the Lady of Speed's on top of him. Or actually, they're tied, 22 1/4. Next up, Ohio Valley Racers. He's got a Monte Carlo. The heavy racing car gets a 26 3/8. And then a Porsche Carrera gets him 20 9/16. So here's the way the standings will go. He's going to get into the top 10. And then his car's placed, then he looks like 32nd. So he's going to get two placings out of this. So let's look at the final scores for the push. So 2 Diecast game rookies take first and second with Jim L. and Your Nightmare Racing. Then we'll look down at the next group. And as they go down, and Ohio Valley Racers will be the last car that places for points. They'll get 32 1 depending on where they stopped. And then this is the finishing for the rest of the cars. All the way down the list to the last 2. So let's see what our standings look like. These are team standings after the first event. Red Pill Racing back in first. He's got 57. Then Nightmare, and as you can see, goes all the way down through the placed teams. 21 folks got points in that event. Here's the individual casting standings. We'll do this after every game. 32, as you can see, for Jim L, and they go down 1 point all the way down. If there's a tie, they split. So as they go down here, you see the teams and how they play, or the cars and how they placed points-wise. So that'll wrap this up, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an event. There are 9 more to go.
This has been a Big Poppy Racing production.